On the air, online, covering the Treasure Coast. Get connected with the Get Up and Go Show. And now here's your hosts, Evan and Bonnie.
6:07 on the Get Up and Go Show with Evan and Bonnie. Happy 420 day. It's April 20th. That's what I'm talking about, Bonnie. It's April 20th, not the other kind of 420.
That's right.
Don't want people to think we're a drug-infested show.
And we're, maybe just a couple of aspirin in the morning.
Yeah.
That's as far as we go.
Yeah, that's about it.
Caffeine in our coffee.
Yeah. I had my my daily dose of part one of 2 parts of breakfast. I usually, at about 5 minutes of, have my muffins in the morning. And then after the muffins, I have my dose of high C, my orange high C, which you cannot, and I'm very upset about this because, at McDonald's, when I would go to eat at McDonald's, I don't drink carbonated sodas. So I used to get the orange high C, the lava burst, I think that's what it's called.
Oh, that sounds good and fruity.
Yeah. So when they eliminated orange high C at McDonald's, I got a little ticked off.
Annoyed by that, yeah.
Just a little ticked off.
Does McDonald's serve the sweet teas or
I'm not a sweet tea kind of a guy.
Kind of tea like that at all? Or are they strictly the carbonated beverage?
Strictly carbonated beverage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really, to be quite honest, I didn't eat at McDonald's for quite a long time now.
Yeah.
Since my other job, since we're laid off, I haven't been going to the other town that I do quite often. And that's usually where I would make my McDonald's run to eat once in a while I'm working.
Yeah, I was really upset because, I like my orange high C. So what I found was little containers of orange high C at my local grocery store.
Oh, nice.
So I bought a bulk amount of them and put them in at the palatial palace of the 9 residents. And I put them in the fridge as I need to use them. And in the morning when I get up for work, I load my little lunch cooler box up with all the essentials that I need for the morning show. And voila, I've got my orange high C. And then in part 2 of breakfast, I have orange juice.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all orange, so I get my vitamin C. And then, of course, I took my 2,000 milligrams of vitamin C this morning that I take every morning.
The vitamin C is very important right now with the COVID-19.
Oh,
that's a good one to be taken.
Yeah.
That, a lot of exercise and plenty of rest. And that's social distancing again.
Yeah. So news over the weekend broke, Bonnie. Wanted to get your thoughts on this. They're going to start reopening stuff, apparently. Jacksonville was the first to jump on the bandwagon Friday at 4:00 in the afternoon. They opened the beaches, and within an hour, it was swamp down there.
The beaches were quite flooded, yes. I know St. Lucie County, too, over the weekend opened the boat ramps. They got open for the first time in a very long time, and it's coming in our news story, too, Evan. They had a seriously huge crowds at the boat ramps this weekend. People just itching to get back out.
I can understand opening the boat ramps, okay? I can understand that. I don't think the beaches were a good thing because people are going to the beach and they're getting sun. They're laying out. And the purpose of the opening of the beaches was supposed to be for exercising and doing essential things like exercising, swimming, and things like that. So the news station that covered the story was showing people just like sprawled out on the beach getting sun. Now, I'm sorry, but they want us to practice social distancing. So now you have a beach full of people, and how in God's name can everybody be 6 feet apart from each other? It's like somebody dropped $1 million and everybody's just like flooding right to it.
It's like kind of like that first day of summer when people are enjoying maybe like a prime day is like Memorial Day weekend when people just want to flock to the beaches because, that's the time for it. And then you see all of these people driving over the Jensen Beach Causeway back and forth and where the traffic is just back to back lineup going out to the beach. That's the time where, like you said, you get on the beach and there are just zillions and zillions of people, and a great place to be if you're a people watcher. But right now, if people are that jammed in and compact like they are, probably not the best place to bring the family yet.
Yeah, I have to give kudos to a buddy of mine who did something this weekend just to kind of try to make a difference to get people out of the house. He did a drive-in movie theater over in Fort Pierce, on the east side of the bridge going over to the jetty.
All right.
It was at something Cove Marina. I forget what the name of it is. But anyway, they did it Friday. They were going to do it Saturday, but the weather was bad, so they postponed it till Sunday. And I talked to him, and they said they had over 300 cars for the drive-in movie theater.
Yeah.
Nobody got out of their car. They stayed in the car. They broadcasted the audio over a FM transmitter. They did have a couple of food and beverage areas that you could walk up to and get food and beverage. But again, social distancing was practiced. But for the most part, everybody stayed in their vehicle, and it was a huge hit. They showed the movie The Goonies.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, The Goonies from Disney.
Yeah, that's a perfect one to show.
Family movie.
Family movie.
Right?
That's one that we didn't watch this weekend, but that's going to be on our to-watch list. I finally watched Coco for the very first time.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, that was, that movie was so original. It was just like a breath of fresh air. I finally sat down and watched that one and gave it a chance. Really, really a good movie for the kids and for the grown-ups. It's great.
I did my Netflix binge watching, as I told you last weekend. The wife subscribed to Netflix, so I watched that series, The Big Show, last weekend. It was pretty good, and now I'm on season 2 of, I think there's 8 seasons of this thing. I'm not sure how many seasons, but I'm on season 2. I think it's episode 3 of Glow. It's the Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling.
Yeah.
It's a really, really good season. Just all the episodes are really good. It's about a guy who wants to rally all these girls and make a wrestling organization and put on shows. Is pretty much what he is. But he's very abusive.
Oh, really?
Verbally, yeah. Very abusive. Yeah.
Yeah, you just want to get right in there and wrestle with him, right? And wrestle him to the ground.
Yeah, it's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. That kind of kept me busy. I guess Sunday was my low day, so to speak. That's when everything kind of really hit home. Like I was sitting around, and it just like the funk really kind of set in. Yeah. Sunday
was I'm sorry to hear that, but I think Sunday was probably like my best day all week.
Yeah, what'd you do?
Well, I got out of my funk and I decided to do some landscaping in the backyard.
Oh, you got a little green thumb action, huh?
Yeah, we had our above ground pool a couple of months ago go just kaput.
Went down underground.
Yeah, so I have a couple of holes in my yard from it. So I went out to Lowe's yesterday and bought topsoil. They had plenty of it in stock in the red and white packages.
I would hope so, unlike toilet paper.
And they're only like $1.97 per package.
Okay.
So I bought 5 of them and, just started filling in those holy areas in my yard. As hot as it was, I got out the shovel yesterday and started shoveling my higher ground to my lower ground with the sand and dirt to kind of make it all level.
Okay, so you got a little schwitzed, as they say.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it felt really good. And then I fell in love with the flowers. I'm telling you what, if you really want to brighten up your psyche, go to like the Lowe's or the Home Depot or even Walmart in their garden center and just walk around and look at the lovely plants and flowers blooming all over. Okay. The colors, and the oxygen they create in the air just puts you in like a really good mood. There were, I kept my social distancing. I did wear my mask, but there were a lot of people out in that lawn and garden center yesterday doing like the very same thing.
Yeah, people want to get out and about, and they want to garden. They want to, do their lawns. They want to do maintenance. So that's kind of like the place to go.
And the ones I wanted to bring home were these beautiful pink flowery plants called hydrangea. I think they're called hydrangea.
Hydrangea, okay.
Yeah, in like a big, like a leaf bush with round. They were like in these round kind of flowery balls and very pretty pink. Lately, when I've been doing my jogging on Saturday mornings, I'm looking around and I find that some of the prettiest flowers in the people's yards are the pink ones. I saw like this nice big tree
Mhm.
blooming the pink, not roses, but I don't even know. I don't know what the plant is called, but it kind
Okay.
of bloomed out of a tree in this one yard.
Okay.
And that pink to me is lately really stands out.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, I
we
like
did
it.
we did a little board game action, but it wasn't so much as board games. They were kind of like card games. It's something to do with memes. You hold up a picture and you play with the other people, and then you have 7 cards that have these different memes on them that are written, and you pick one that you think the funniest meme is, and the person that turns over the actual meme to show the picture has to decide whose is the funniest, and then you get a point if yours is selected.
Oh, that sounds pretty
So
cool.
that was pretty cool.
So do you make up your own meme, or
no, it's all there in the box.
there memes?
There's memes.
Are they like timely ones that we've seen on
There's
Facebook
pictures of like
and-
Donald Trump. There's pictures of this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
And then you just have to put the saying with the meme. And sometimes it can be quite a bit funny. And then there's a more, I want to say another version. I forget what the name of the game is, but we played it yesterday. And it was kind of like Match Game. Remember the old show Match Game?
I loved that.
Where you fill in the blank.
Yeah.
And it gives you a saying, and then it says blank and this.
Yep.
So then you have 7 cards with like 7 different fill in the blanks, and it's pretty adult rated. I will say that
Really?
much. So then you have to pick the saying that you think is the funniest one that goes with what you selected as the statement.
That sounds like a really fun one to play. And I had
Yeah.
no idea they would have like a kind of newer version of a match game out.
Yeah,
That's great.
I don't recall exactly what the name of it is. I'll have to find out from Rachel. Hopefully she calls
Yeah.
me this morning.
Remember Gene Radberry? He was the
Gene Rayburn.
Gene Rayburn.
Yeah, he was the host. He had that long stick microphone,
He did.
right? Kind of like Bob Barker had on The Price is Right.
Yeah, it looks like they were going to play golf with it or something.
It was like a
long
lollipop.
on a stick.
Right. It was like
Yeah.
it was a long, I don't know, it was like a weapon. I don't know what it was.
And I remember how Match Game, it's kind of like these people weren't seriously famous, but Match Game made them famous. The panelists.
No, you had Kitty Carlisle, Charles Nelson Riley.
I remember
Right.
him.
Kitty Carlisle
Brett
was
Parks.
there. Brett Parks was another one.
She was the lady with the dark hair and the glasses.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, and I think Richard Dawson was on the panel too.
He was known as the when he hosted Family Feud, he was known as the kissing bandit.
I know.
Because every female that he went down the line, he had to get a kiss from every female.
Yeah, you could be young or old, somewhere in between, and he didn't mind kissing you. You could have had the biggest fish lips, and they were still kissable to him.
I cannot believe that he just did not get mononucleosis, otherwise known as the kissing disease. Wow. I don't know. I don't think I would do that. That's for darn sure. 6:20 on a Monday on the Get Up and Go show. It's 6:20 on 420. And let's go over to the Not So 420 news desk where Bonnie is standing by this morning. Morning, Bonnie.
Good morning to you, Evan, and let's do the rundown per county of coronavirus cases. For Indian River County, there are 84 confirmed cases and 3 deaths. The number of confirmed cases in St. Lucie County are at 202 with 15 deaths. And for Martin County, 151 coronavirus cases confirmed, 4 deaths in Martin County. The coronavirus took 26 more lives in Florida yesterday. The death toll is up to 774 for the state. The Department of Health reports there are more than 26,000 cases statewide. We know now that Florida public schools won't open the rest of this academic year. What about the state's higher education system?
Florida's colleges and universities have resigned themselves to not finishing this school year on campus. What about starting the next one? Florida State University President John Thrasher says his school will need to know by around July if the campus can reopen for the fall or whether classes must continue online. Boards of several schools meet this coming week, and like FSU, must look at contingency plans and their budgets. I'm John McQuiston.
We'll find out today who the governor will listen to when it comes to reopening the economy. Governor Ron DeSantis said this weekend he's forming a task force that will advise him on how to get back to normal. The members will be announced today. It was exactly 10 years ago when Florida found itself facing a different kind of economic crisis.
In 2010, it was an economic and environmental crisis caused by the explosion of the Deepwater Horizon oil rig in the Gulf of Mexico and the oil spill that followed. Charlie Crist was governor at the time.
I learned as a then Republican governor, working with then Democratic President Barack Obama, that, party lines meant nothing.
And like then, Crist says the current pandemic will only be solved with governments, the private sector, scientists, smart strategy of recovery moving forward. I'm Rory O'Neill.
The coronavirus crisis leading to major delays with the U.S. Census. Normally, the data would be collected and presented to the president and Congress by year's end, but that deadline has been pushed into next year.
The request has been that it be delayed until April.
Susan Racher with Florida Counts says 47% of Floridians have responded. After weeks of waiting, people living in Port St. Lucie are back out on the water. The boat ramps reopened Friday, allowing many to get back in their normal routine. City leaders closed the ramps last month to minimize large gatherings and help stop the spread of the deadly coronavirus. By 10 a.m. Sunday, most of the boat ramp parking lots were full with barely anywhere to park. Many residents like Connie Clough headed out early to take advantage of the opportunity and enjoy the outdoors. I've waited forever, but this is awesome. I love it. Enough is enough. We are ready to get outside and enjoy and see people, Clough said. Even if we can't be near people or be in groups, at least we can see the world. While boaters are out on the water, city leaders said social distancing guidelines are still in place. As a result, the St. Lucie County Sheriff's Office and Port St. Lucie Police will be out patrolling the waterways and enforcing boating laws to help keep people safe. And finally, a South Florida farmers market isn't letting the coronavirus stop their tradition to provide to their community. Cars lined up at Lawnwood Stadium in Fort Pierce on Saturday, sometimes waiting for up to an hour for the town's first farmers market since the original was closed at the marina in order to help stop the spread of coronavirus. Drivers stayed in their cars and ordered from large menus as merchants from 17 local businesses wore protective gear and handed orders safely to customers. The Fort Pierce Farmers Market will continue for the next few weeks on the weekend from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. And Patrick Mahomes is the top seller of official merchandise in the NFL. He dethroned Tom Brady, who held the top spot for 3 straight years. Tom dropped to number 2, but he's been in the top 3 for the past 18 years. The data is compiled from March through February, so it's going to be interesting to see if Tom's new Tampa Bay merchandise will give him a boost on next year's list. News time is 6:25. The weather and traffic together are next.
$6:26 the time on the Get Up and Go show. It's time for traffic and weather together, brought to you by Code Red Roofers. Bonnie?
On the roads this morning, use some caution when you're on US 1 southbound as you're approaching Jensen Beach Boulevard. There's some construction going on in that area with the workers out and about right now. Slow down, use caution there. No traffic accidents to report. And there's your latest look at traffic. Already on the warm side this morning, 76 in Port St. Lucie and Stewart, 77. Here's our forecast at WPTV.
This morning here on the Treasure Coast, warm and humid with a breeze out of the south and a few showers are possible. This afternoon, hot and very windy with possible record highs in the low to mid 90s and winds out of the southwest. Late afternoon and evening thunderstorms are possible, moving from west to east, and some storms could be strong.
Let's get back to the Get Up and Go show. Here's Evan and Bonnie.
Yeah, you know, you know I had to do this, right? You know I had to do this. You know what this is,
Oh, yeah.
right?
Just takes you right back there.
Doesn't it?
Yeah.
And since it takes us back there, I found match game questions.
Oh,
So
sweet.
you and I are going to rotate in this segment. We're going to do something a little different. We normally talk about viral videos here, but I kind of like to go off the cuff a little bit. So we're going to rotate match game questions.
Okay.
I just Googled match game questions.
So you can be Gene Rayburn.
I'll be Gene Rayburn.
I'll be Brett Parks,
You'll
I
be
guess.
Brett Parks because you have the glasses on.
Yeah, I
Okay. And then we'll rotate.
do. Okay.
And then, I'll do one, you do one. Okay, so here we go. The Irishman said, quote, "I will never eat another mushroom. I just found out that leprechauns blank in the woods."
Oh my gosh, what would a leprechaun? I don't even have an answer for that.
You have to think of one. It's got to be witty.
Okay. They dance in the woods because I believe they would dance from eating a magic mushroom.
Okay. I would have to say, because of the content of the question, I will never eat another mushroom. I just found out that leprechauns blank in the woods. I would have to say, go to the bathroom in the woods.
Okay. Oh, can it be more than one word? It can be kind of like a little form of.
You can do more than one word.
Okay, I just thought it had to be a one word
No,
thing. See,
no.
I don't remember this thing as well as I
No,
thought I did.
No, that's okay.
So go to the bathroom.
I say go to the bathroom.
So does it show whose answer
No,
was
it
more
doesn't.
top
It
rated?
doesn't. No, not at all.
I would imagine yours would be at this point.
No, not at all. It doesn't show.
And remember, I think the contestant had to match the panelists.
Yeah.
And it was if they could match the number of panelists, more panelists that they matched, the more points they got up on the.
Yep.
I want to say there was a chalkboard. What did they chalkboard it way back then?
I don't know. I don't know. Here's another one, Bonnie. Okay, ready? Oh wow! I just lost. Hold on. What happened here? There we go. Okay. Archaeologists just discovered the world's oldest men's room. On a stall, they found a message that said, quote, "For a good time, call blank."
Call Captain Caveman.
Captain Caveman. Okay. I would have just said call me, and there's a phone number there.
Okay.
That's what I would have said.
Even the cavemen used to
Yep,
to leave
yep.
messages
Okay.
and scribble on the walls and stuff
Okay.
too.
All right, here's another one. Okay. Let me see here. To resume. Okay. The movie on the airplane was so good, nobody even noticed that the stewardess were blank.
I would say nude, naked.
Yeah, I would have said the same
You're
thing.
saying we're
I
on
would have
the-
said nude or topless.
They're same page with
Yeah.
that.
Your
Yeah.
your mind and my mind are in the gutter this morning for a Monday.
I-
Okay, here's another one. One bell ringing Santa Claus said to the other, quote, "Boy, my faith in humanity is at an all-time low. Why today someone just blanked in my kettle."
Threw up in my.
That's what I was gonna say.
Oh.
Puked in my kettle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, see, if I was the contestant and you were my panelist, I would be
Mhm.
chalking up the points.
Right? Okay.
Or vice versa.
All right, here we go. Here's another one.
Okay.
The police commissioner said, quote, "I think Batman and Robin are blank." I know exactly what I would say. Don't be afraid to say it. It's okay.
Are twins.
Really? Now, see, I would have said gay.
Well, I was thinking it. I just didn't say it. Okay.
Yeah, I would have
Yeah.
said gay.
Okay.
And our feed on Facebook just went down after that one.
Oh boy. Are
It was just a technical thing. That's
are
all it is.
We closed captioned again today for the hearing impaired.
Yeah, some reason it's doing that. I don't understand why, but I'll
Yeah.
figure that out.
I
I think
was-
it's a new thing they're doing.
Watching in the weekend, and I think it had the whole captioning for when Frank was on early in our 6:00 hour on Friday.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Long John Silver said, "Aye, mateys. Whenever I run the 100-yard dash to go really fast, I put blank on the bottom of me, peg.
I put slippery eels.
I slippery eels.
Yeah.
I would say a spring. That's
Okay.
just me. I would say a spring.
Yours might be higher there. I'm just thinking like the eels on his feet so he can slide and glide faster, maybe across the plank.
Okay.
Oh, got a weird way of thinking.
No, that's all
sometimes.
right. That's okay. The Jolly Green Giant was sick of dating the Jolly Green Giantess. So to change things up on his last date, he took a blank.
He took a green goddess as a wife.
I would say a nap.
Okay.
I would say a nap.
Yep. That could.
Okay.
Mhm.
Here's another one.
Green giant.
Green
Woo.
Giant. I remember that one.
I know. Probably played during match game.
Yeah. The passenger said that the movie broke down during the flight. So the pilot came out of the cockpit and showed us his blank.
Showed us his pilot license.
I would say dance moves.
Oh, yeah.
I would say
like
dance
that.
moves
I
in
like
that one.
Yeah.
Okay. There's something wrong with my TV set. It's horrible. The Galloping Gourmet is roasting blank.
M&M's.
I would say chestnuts.
Okay. I don't know. M&M's just came to mind faster than anything else, and I don't know why. I maybe I should have said marshmallows roasting.
That would be a good one.
Whatever you roast in toast.
That would be roast and toast. Okay. Boy, the church is really modernizing their Christmas pageant this year. Instead of the three wise men riding in on camels, they rode in on blank.
Mules.
I would have said horses.
All right.
All right, mules and horses, those are the same things.
Mhm. They're
They
in the
come
same
from the same family.
family. They're both hoofed, four-legged friends. So yeah, they're in that sameness going on.
All right, here's the next one. Colonel Sanders really has lost his mind. He is now selling chicken breasts with blank.
Mayonnaise.
I would say ketchup. That's just me.
Uh-huh.
Mayonnaise, ketchup. That's
Hey,
a good one.
You know, have you ever had ketchup on a chicken sandwich before?
All the time.
You're kidding me, because I used to have a friend way back when in our youth,
Mhm.
and the mother was a single mom, and she would make those Tyson chicken breasts
Okay.
and put a little bit of ketchup on it between the sandwich buns.
Okay.
And a little dab of that will do you.
Okay.
That
A
ketchup
little
wasn't
dab will do me.
that wasn't bad on there.
Okay, here we go. Jaws may be scary, but all he wants to do is write greeting cards. His latest, my deepest sympathies for the loss of your blank.
For the loss of your wife?
I would say teeth, jaws. I
Oh,
don't know.
yeah.
That's the kind of connotation I got with that.
I'm thinking of Orca Killer Whale because
Okay.
I just watched that movie and they actually killed Orca's wife in that.
All right.
And he went out on a vengeance
All right.
after the fisherman that killed his wife.
All right, here we go. 10,000 years later, Grog the caveman made the first advance on a spouse in bed. 10,000 years ago today, Grog's wife invented the blank.
Chastity belt.
I was going to say the same thing.
Finally, I got on the right
Yes.
page with you, the same
Yes.
page with you. So we are, I think we're 4 out of 10 now that we were on the same
Yeah,
line
that was
wavelength.
good.
Yeah.
That
Um,
was good. I'm seeing if I can find the more questions here from Match Game because there's just so many.
that was, while you're doing that, that was probably my favorite game show as I was growing up. I mean, The Price is Right was vintage and classic
Oh.
in the living room every single morning, but Match Game was a favorite. And I think a second, I liked Card Sharks too.
I like Card Sharks because that was kind of like a version of 21,
yeah,
so to speak.
I really liked playing that. And I think was it Bert Convey might have been the announcer on Card Sharks, but I would look forward
was
to
it
that
Bert
one.
Convey? I think it may have been Bert Convey.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was he was good. I like Bert Convey.
Yeah.
You know, Card Sharks was a good one. What was some of the other game shows from way back in the day?
There was the $10,000 pyramid.
Oh, that was a great show.
Yeah. And usually they would bring on a celebrity to play along with a contestant on that one, right? They would pair a celebrity with contestant.
Who hosted that?
That's, I think it was Dick Clark for some.
Yes, it was.
I think Dick
You
Clark.
are 100% right.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dick Clark hosted that one. What about Password?
Password was a fun one.
Password was a great show
Yeah.
back in the day.
Password, I think, was a really old. That was probably one of the oldest ones, right? Like, didn't Password maybe even start on radio or some sort of thing? I thought
I
like,
don't remember.
maybe like one of the oldest program or game shows.
Didn't Bill Cullen host Password? Was it Bill Cullen who hosted Password?
See, now that's why it might be of older because Bill Cullen is a name that I don't remember. I don't know. I don't remember him as a host at all. But maybe would he have been like a 1960s host? Like, hosting
I don't
that
remember.
show in the mid 60s.
I don't remember. Couldn't tell you. Bill Cullen, though, the name rings a bell. Bill Cullen.
Oh, Password Plus aired in 1979. So
Okay.
they had Password Plus, and Password aired in, we're right on that, October 2 of 19
Oh, wow.
is when the original Password aired. And which was created by Bob Stewart for Goodson Todman Productions.
Oh, it was something Goodman, Bill Todman,
Yep.
Mark Goodson, Bill Todman. That was it. Mark Goodson, Bill Todman production.
Yep, that is true.
Yep, I remember that.
The host during was Alan Luden, who was previously well known as the host of GE College Bowl.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so College Bowl too is a golden oldie right there. Oh yeah, I'm sure. Oh, look at this vintage classic picture of Password too.
Oh,
It's all
my.
in black and white.
So how about the Newlywed Game?
That was
Remember
fun.
that one?
Bob Eubanks,
Bob
right?
Eubanks did that one.
Oh, was he a character,
Right.
right? Remember what some of the answers the people would give?
And his famous word was whoopee.
yeah.
He used to use whoopee a lot.
And when people would give, seriously, he would freak me out. It was he was almost scary to watch. And people would give these off the wall answers,
Mhm.
and that look on his, as a little kid, it scared me. He'd have that look of like astonishment puzzlement going on. And I don't know why, but when I was to frighten me.
So I just found out. I found something that shows the game show list, the most popular game shows, and when they premiered. So Password, like you said, was 61. The Newlywed Game premiered in 1966.
Oh, it did.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
The Price is Right premiered in 72. Match Game premiered in 62. How about What's My Line? Remember that one?
Yeah, that's like a real old one too.
1950.
1950
Yep.
for What's My Line.
Jeopardy premiered in 64. Wheel of Fortune premiered in 75. Now, here's one. Ready?
Uh-huh.
Concentration.
Was that a game show on television?
That was Hugh Downs.
I only remember that like concentration from my like playing cards with concentration.
Yes,
and
Concentration. It was a game show that had it was numbers 1 through 15, and you put a number and you have to find another one and you match the two. And then if it doesn't match, they turn back around.
Oh, wow.
The next contestant goes and they pick until you match two. That's what it was called.
I wonder if that was a regional thing with the East Coasters, because like in the Midwest or northern Wisconsin, I don't remember watching that one.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems like we were covering a whole territory of familiarity with the shows,
Right.
but I just don't remember Concentration.
Here's a classic one for you. Hollywood Squares.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And it was always kind of cool. The middle square was kind of like the funny guy.
He was.
Always in the middle. Who was in Hollywood Squares? The guy wore, it was a white shirt, black suspenders, dark hat, and glasses. And I think his name was Charlie. I don't remember. That's all I remember. Charlie.
He was.
You know who I'm talking about?
Yeah, the middle square in Hollywood Squares, right?
Yeah, it was Charlie.
Was
Charlie something. I can't remember his name.
Paul Lind.
Oh, Paul Lind was another one that was
Yeah.
on Hollywood Squares.
He
Yeah.
was usually the one that was in that center
Oh,
square.
he was in the center square? Okay.
Paul Lind was, because, like you said, he was the funny man,
Right.
kind of the funny guy. He always
Right.
had that spirit about him and something funny to say.
Right.
And
I want to know who Charlie was on Hollywood Squares. I can't remember. Gosh.
I think Charles Nelson Riley also moved to Hollywood
He did.
Squares
He did
from
that one.
Match Game.
Right.
And
We have a call right now. Let's go to the caller right now. And I have a funny feeling I think I may know who this is. Good morning. You're on the air with Evan and Bonnie.
Well, obviously you do know who this is.
What's up? It's Captain Game Show.
Hey, you're thinking about Paul N. He was the center square on Hollywood Squares in the original version.
Okay. But who was Charlie? Oh, was he called just Uncle Charlie? I don't remember.
No, I think you're thinking about Charlie. He was on not Password, but he was on Match Game. Charlie, I can't think of his name.
Not Charles Nelson. Not Charles Nelson Riley. No, not him.
Okay.
There was an
Okay.
older gentleman on Hollywood Squares, and he always wore a white shirt with black suspenders.
here he is.
What's his name?
Charlie Weaver.
That's it, Charlie Weaver.
There
Yes.
you go.
Yes.
All right.
Oh, see, that was a little bit more.
There you go, Bonnie.
Yay.
Yay.
It was a
Oh.
little bit before my time, guys, because I don't remember him at all. But now
Yeah.
they show a picture of him, and when Evan mentioned the white
Did he
shirt,
have the white shirt on
black
with the suspenders?
a tie,
Right, and the
going on,
mustache, right?
a hat, and a mustache,
Yeah,
and
exactly, and the
glasses.
glasses.
Yeah.
Now here's one for you. In
All
the
right.
80s, they tried to bring back Hollywood Squares, and they brought it back with Match Game. It was the Match Game Hollywood Squares Hour.
Oh, wow.
And John Bowser Bowsen from Sha Na Na was the host of the Hollywood Squares,
I remember that.
and it
Yeah.
bombed big time. It was so bad, and poor Gene Rayburn, you could see he didn't want to be there.
Oh,
You know,
Wow.
he just, yeah, it was bad.
I remember that one with the guy from Sha Na Na, Bowser. It was,
Yes.
but I can't remember it failing or faltering like you said.
Yeah, it only lasted one season, and that was it. It bombed. It was really bad.
Do you think if they brought it back now, they could get a host of people? You think it would fare well now?
Well, Match Game's back right now. It's on the ABC network with
Yeah,
Alec
Alec
Baldwin.
Baldwin.
hosting.
Yeah, that is back now.
Hosting.
Alec Baldwin is
I actually
covering it.
applied to be on that
Yeah.
show. I
You
did. Yeah, and I got a
Oh.
call and I auditioned, but I never heard from anybody.
Oh man.
Now here's one, and I got the videotapes to prove it. Back in 2006, I did 2 pilots for the Gong Show. They were trying to bring it back on the UPN network.
You were on?
Yeah, no, the WB network. I'm sorry. I did 2 pilots for it.
Wait a minute. So you were a contestant?
No, I was the host of the Gong Show for 2
What?
pilots. Yes.
Oh.
No
I'm even
way.
on Wikipedia. I'm even on Wikipedia about it.
Come on.
Yes.
You never told me this.
I never told you that.
No.
I thought I did.
Wow.
I thought I did. Yeah, I did 2 pilots for it.
Well, the original host was
Chuck Barris.
Chuck Barris, right?
Yeah, I got to meet him. He was still the executive producer of it. And WB was with Sony Television trying to get it going, and they rejected both pilots.
Did
Wow.
you like try to be energetic like he was and dance around and
To an extent, yeah, I did. I didn't want to copy him because he was just so. He always had the hats on, and he would
The
cover his
hats.
eyes with the hats.
Yeah.
And all that. But the part of the problem was the writers were trying to copy the original, and instead of trying to do something slightly different.
uh-huh.
So but it was good. I enjoyed it, and I was kind of bummed that it didn't happen.
Yeah.
But
I don't know if people would still get a kick out of the unknown comic anymore.
Yeah, the unknown comic. Anyway,
I got a story about him.
we'll
later
talk
on.
to you about that tomorrow, definitely.
You got it.
All right,
I got
Phil.
it.
Have a good
I got
one.
it. Bye.
6:47, the time to Get Up and Go show. Had time to head over to the unknown news desk. Like the unknown comic,
Yeah.
but the unknown news desk. Here's Bonnie with the headlines. Good morning, Bonnie.
Good morning, Evan. The coronavirus cases at a glance. Let's break them down by county now. Number of confirmed right here in Martin County, 151 with 4 deaths. Number of confirmed cases for St. Lucie County are at 202 right now with 16 deaths. And for the confirmed cases, Indian River County, that number is at 84 and 3 deaths. The coronavirus took 26 more lives in Florida yesterday, and the death toll is up to 774. The Department of Health reports there are more than 26,000 cases statewide. We know now that Florida public schools won't open the rest of this academic year. What about the state's higher education system?
Florida's colleges and universities have resigned themselves to not finishing this school year on campus. What about starting the next one? Florida State University President John Thrasher says his school will need to know by around July if the campus can reopen for the fall or whether classes must continue online. Boards of several schools meet this coming week, and like FSU, must look at contingency plans and their budgets. I'm John McQuiston.
We'll find out today who the governor will listen to when it comes to reopening the economy. Governor Ron DeSantis said this weekend he's forming a task force that will advise him on how to get back to normal. The members will be announced today. It was exactly 10 years ago when Florida found itself facing a different kind of economic crisis.
In 2010, it was an economic and environmental crisis caused by the explosion of the Deepwater Horizon oil rig in the Gulf of Mexico and the oil spill that followed. Charlie Crist was governor at the time.
I learned as a then Republican governor, working with then Democratic President Barack Obama, that, party lines meant nothing.
And like then, Crist says the current pandemic will only be solved with governments, the private sector, and scientists plotting a smart strategy of recovery moving forward. I'm Rory O'Neill.
The coronavirus crisis leading to major delays with the U.S. Census. Normally, the data would be collected and presented to the president and Congress by year's end, but that deadline has been pushed into next year.
The request has been that it be delayed until April.
Susan Racher with the Florida Counts says 47% of Floridians have self-responded. Relief is on the way for healthcare workers and medical staff in Martin County thanks to a new program. It's called Farm to First Responders, and it was created by the regional nonprofit Fresh RX. The new food distribution program began Saturday at Cleveland Clinic Martin North Hospital with the help of Living Hungry. It's aimed at providing healthcare workers easier access to healthy food options. Employees at the hospital were all given a week's supply of fresh bread, fruits, and vegetables. The Farm to First Responders program purchases produce from area farms, which allows farmers to stay in business while restaurants and farmers markets across South Florida remained closed. And in addition to the fresh produce, hospital staff were also given hundreds of N95 masks for protection. And Patrick Mahomes is the top seller of official merchandise in the NFL. He dethroned Tom Brady, who held the top spot for 3 straight years. Tom dropped to number 2, but he's been in the top 3 for the past 18 years. The data is compiled from March through February, so it's going to be interesting to see if Tom's new Tampa Bay merchandise will give him a boost on next year's list. After Brady, the third biggest seller is Baltimore Ravens quarterback Lamar Jackson, then Dallas Cowboys running back Ezekiel Elliott. News time is 6:52, and weather and traffic together are next. Don't remember.
$6:53 the time, the Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie. It's time for traffic and weather together, brought to you by Code Red Roofers. Bonnie?
Keep in mind as you're traveling US 1 in the Jensen Beach area this morning, traveling southbound as you approach Jensen Beach Boulevard, slow down a little bit, use caution. There are workers, construction going on in that area right now. Otherwise, expect a good ride. No accidents to report right here. There's your latest look at traffic. It's 77 in Stewart, and here's more on our forecast at WPTV.
This morning here on the Treasure Coast, warm and humid with a breeze out of the south and a few showers are possible. This afternoon, hot and very windy with possible record highs in the low to mid 90s and winds out of the southwest. Late afternoon and evening thunderstorms are possible, moving from west to east, and some storms could be strong.
You're listening to the Get Up and Go Show with Evan and Bonnie on Martin County's Heritage Station, AM 1450 WSTU. Now let's get back to the program with Evan and Bonnie.
So does that music ring a bell by any chance? Because this is a show that my family was on.
Is that one out of Orlando?
It filmed out of Orlando. Double Dare.
I've heard of the show, but
It's where you
I
got
wouldn't be-
slimed on TV in a
Yeah.
game show.
You actually got slimed?
Yes.
Did your whole family get the slime?
Our entire family was on the show.
Did you throw slime back at them?
No, it was kind of like it was a game show. It was me, Rachel, and the boys were on the show. Haley did not participate. She was in the studio audience.
Okay.
And you had to answer questions, and then you go up against another team of 4 people, another family. And then what happens is if you win, you go what's called the slopsticle course
Uh-huh.
instead of obstacle. And
That
if you get all 8
Sounds
right,
like fun.
if you go through all 8 and you win, you get the grand prize.
Sounds better
So
than
we
a
got
theme park.
7 of the 8. We had a lot of fun.
So did you win a grand prize?
No, we
or-
only got 7 of the 8.
But did you win a prize for
Yeah, we did. We
accomplishing-
won money and prizes and
How much money?
all sorts of stuff. A couple $100.
Yeah?
Yeah, we had a good time.
That's not bad.
We're WSTU Stewart, Martin County's Heritage Station, 7 a.m. Time for the news.
On air, online, covering the Treasure Coast. Get connected to the Get Up and Go Show. And now here's your host, Evan and Bonnie.
7:06. Actually, it just clicked over to 7:07 on the Get Up and Go Show with Evan and Bonnie. Hour 1 down, 2 more to go with yours truly, Evan Nine and Bonnie Ashley, doing what we do best every single weekday, Monday through Friday, between the hours of 6 a.m. and 9 a.m., bringing you cutting-edge news and entertainment at its best. Networks can't even pay what we want to give them this kind of cutting-edge entertainment, right, Bonnie?
Yeah, I guess that makes us fortunate to live here, and,
Yeah.
and that's why we're here on this amazing Treasure Coast that we live on.
Yeah. We have a great guest that's going to be joining us on Friday, gentleman that represents Blue Cross Blue Shield, talking about health insurance in these trying times of what's going on and how you can get discounted health insurance.
Yeah,
So we're going to be having him on the program this Friday. Of
that's
course,
going to be good.
Sheriff Snyder joins us on Tuesday. Tara, what's her last name?
Krista.
Taryn Christ is
Taryn
going to be
Krista.
joining us.
Yeah.
The Martin County Administrator on Wednesday, along with Joe Ketchumbone as well from the Martin County Chamber of Commerce, Stewart Chamber of Commerce.
The awesome foursome, they always bring us amazing information about Martin County.
Yeah.
Everything you need to know and getting caught up on the county news and stuff.
Yep. Our band has learned a new song. Would you like to hear a little bit of it?
Yes.
Yeah. That's our band in the other room playing. They're in the Palatial Recording Studios of WSTU. Pretty catchy, huh?
I like it. And, Evan, too, we've been talking about those game shows this morning
Yeah.
and the classics. This makes
I
me
see
want
you
to
bopping over there.
I want to just go home and to turn the prices right on this morning and dance around my living room and feel like a kid again.
Oh. Okay. Well, you can play along on The Price is Right. Hopefully this won't happen.
Hey, have you heard they have what's called a Price is Right Live?
I've been there. I've seen it.
Have you?
I've gone to it, and I've actually played it.
Have you gotten up on stage?
I got on stage in
No
Vegas
kidding.
when I went many years ago,
Uh-huh.
and it was a lot of fun.
So what was the feeling like when you finally got up there? Did you feel sort of overwhelmed? Like I might feel it if I would get up there?
No, because you put me in front of a big crowd because of what I do for a living, and forget it. The switch goes on,
Yeah.
and I take over and run the show.
See, now
I am the show.
I would be the opposite. It's a show that I can watch. I can sit here and talk on a radio with thousands of people listening and do that easily. But I think when it would become time for me to get up
Mm-hmm.
on that stage and have to play that game
Yeah.
and consider what I could be winning, especially if it's a brand new car.
Right.
And the audience, everybody at home watching too, or maybe just that audience watching,
Mm-hmm.
I think I would panic a little bit. My panic button would go on and I would be afraid I wouldn't be able to think.
Well, you remember we had a friend of mine's son on, Mike Knapp, Jr., who was on The Price is Right, and he won the showcase and won everything.
He did well.
Yeah.
He certainly did do
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, speaking of being on stage in front of people, Rachel and I were on a cruise 2 years ago, and they had a hypnotist, and they asked for volunteers, and they bring you on stage, and they supposedly hypnotize you, and they have you do stupid stuff,
Right.
and then you wake up and you don't remember nothing. Me being the consummate showman that I am, and being from the wrestling business and how to act, I got on stage. I can't be hypnotized because of my sleep disorder. So I just played along, and I let the guy think that he hypnotized me. So
you let him think you did that. You were putty and jelly in his hands.
Pretty much. Exactly. And I put a show on that my wife wanted to crawl under her seat so far.
She was embarrassed by it?
Yeah, she was a little.
Did you act a little goofy
she
and
kinda
sort
did
of
one these
drunk or
things.
something?
Oh, I did. Let me tell you, if Rachel calls in this morning, we'll get her take on
I'll
that.
tell you what, Evan, I saw a hypnotist some years ago, and I don't know if it was real or not, but it was fascinating. He pulled this really huge guy, might have been a 280 pound, maybe more. The guy was really a big dude.
He's a big boy.
Yeah. And so the hypnotist, he's on stage with him. The hypnotist tosses a quarter on the floor and tells the big dude, he said, this quarter weighs 10 tons.
Okay.
And now bend down and pick it up.
And he couldn't pick the quarter up.
No.
I've seen that done.
Yeah.
It's really, truly amazing to see how much somebody will try to pick that quarter up, and they just simply can't do it because they're hypnotized to think that it weighs 10 tons.
I know.
Right?
So, yeah. And so I've never been hypnotized before. So you as an audience member are wondering, is this real? Is this staged? Was it a setup?
People can be hypnotized. I
Yeah.
know a guy by the name of Mark Uzak. He used to do shows at the South Florida Fair. Very popular hypnotist. And he's still around. I'm going to try to get him on the show one day as a guest. And I would love to have him on and to find out the ins and outs of hypnotism. He's a barrel of laughs, this guy.
I find it fascinating, too, that people can get hypnotized and quit smoking with the smoking cessation.
Yeah. But it is true. People get hypnotized on stage.
Yeah.
And, it's not for everybody. It's definitely not for everybody.
So I wonder what gives you the trait where you can be hypnotized or you can't be hypnotized, and where's the fine line?
I don't know. We're going to have to find out. We're going to call Mark Uzak.
Yeah.
I'm going to call him after we get off the air today and try to set up a radio interview with him and have him on as a guest. And I just think he'd be a great guest, a lot of fun.
Fascinating.
And maybe he can hypnotize us on the air. That would be kind of scary because then he'd take over the program.
He could hypnotise you on the air. I don't know if I want to be hypnotized.
Man, I can't be hypnotized because of my sleep
That's
disorder.
Right. I don't know.
So, it'd be kind of, man, if he starts having you cluck like a chicken on the air, I don't know what I'd do.
That would be that would be one tape I wouldn't be looking back at the footage.
No, or have me like stand on my chair and start dancing around or something.
Yeah, like you're some sort of a big elephant or something.
No.
News on the radio. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday.
7:14 on the Get Up and Go show. That number takes me back to time. 7:14, like 4:20.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Do you remember what significance 7:14 was back in the day?
7:14 during what year?
I'm talking back in the early 80s. The number 7:14. Does that have any significance to you at all?
No, and it's probably something
I'm
I
going to
should
tell
know.
you off air what
Okay.
that meant.
Oh,
It
because
had to do with something illegal. That's all I'm going to say. I never did it, but I'll tell you what it was.
it sounds like a rifle. A 7:14 sounds
No.
like a rifle or something.
Back in the day, in the early 80s, there was a drug of choice called Quaaludes.
Oh,
Okay.
Oh,
And they
wow.
were 7:14.
Yeah.
Lemon and Roar 7:14s.
wow.
I only knew this because I was in the business of being a club DJ, and I had this stuff offered to me all the time.
Uh-huh.
I never did drugs. I was very straight edge. And people always looked at me weird, like, wow, you're a club DJ, you don't do drugs? Well, that's just me. That's the way I chose to lead my life.
Like a clean life.
Yeah, very, very clean life. Never
Yeah.
smoked a cigarette day in my life. Never did drugs a day in my life. As far as consuming alcohol, I'm once every 6 months,
Oh, good for you.
once a year.
Mhm.
And that's it. And it's a very light drink. And I actually had that beverage the other day with my 28-year-old son.
Yeah.
I had it in a coffee cup. I had a little Kahlua
Uh-huh.
and a little milk.
Why not?
Call it Kahlua and cream.
You mentioned the early 80s too, Evan. Do you
Yeah.
remember the big Tylenol epidemic
Oh,
in
yeah.
the early 80s?
Yeah.
The Tylenol getting
Mhm.
laced with, was
Yeah.
it cyanide? And
Yeah.
they were looking for maybe someone that was working in the factory.
Yeah.
And then anybody that had grandma and gramps, like my grandpa was taking Tylenol at the time.
Mhm.
You know, we had to go through his medicine cabinets and make sure he didn't have any.
Yeah.
I don't know if they ever caught that culprit.
Don't know.
I don't think they ever did find
know.
out what that measure was.
Don't know. So you have any birthdays? Anybody you want to wish happy birthday to?
No, I guess just your wonderful son.
Yeah, Gavin.
Yeah.
My son is 17 today. Wow. Can you believe that?
17.
I should call him right now and wake his little happy behind up out of bed.
see if he is
He would
awake.
be so mad at me if I did that.
Yeah.
He would.
You know, I had a teen in the house this weekend, and she didn't get her little hiney out of bed until, oh, good gosh, she slept till 1 in the
Wow.
afternoon.
That's crazy.
And she's not, she's academically really good. I mean, she's far from being lazy, but are the teens sleeping in that late? Is that a common
Yeah,
thing?
because they don't have to go to school now, and they have to do virtual school online. So they get up when they want. They check in for attendance to show that they went to school.
Yeah.
And sometimes there's not even assignments there for them to do. So all they have to do is just check in for attendance, and their school day is done.
I know.
That's pretty much it.
She gets out of bed, and I can't say good morning. I got to say good afternoon.
Yeah. Or sometimes good evening, right?
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
crazy.
Back when I was growing up, I'll tell you what, Evan, if we slept past 11, if we thought we were going to be,
Mhm.
our dad would be on us like,
Yeah, Gavin can
get out of
sleep till
bed.
Gavin can sleep till 2 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Yeah, he can sleep all darn day long. Carlos Valdez, 31 years old today. That's Cisco Vibe on The Flash. Miranda Kerr, 37. Clayne Crawford's 42 from Lethal Weapon star who played Martin Riggs. Joseph, don't call me Joey Lawrence, is 44 years old today. Stephen Marley's 48. That's Bob Marley's son.
Oh, wow.
Carmen Electra. Remember her?
Yeah, didn't she go out with Dennis Rodman?
Yep.
And they were married for a couple of days or some sort of thing like
Yep,
that?
she's 48 years old.
Uh-huh.
Wow, 48 years old. Carmen Electra. Shemar Moore is 50. That's Hondo on SWAT remake.
Shamar. Yeah,
Shamar. Oh, I said it wrong. I'm sorry.
But
Shamar.
I think he's on your wife's show too, Criminal Minds.
Yes.
And
yes.
he had also been on The Young and the Restless.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah.
Andy Serkis is 56. That's the arms dealer Ulysses Klaue in 2 of the Marvel movies, Avengers and Age of Ultron. Crispin Helen Glover is 46. That's George McFly in Back to the Future.
Oh, wow.
Former New York Yankee star Don Mattingly, 59 years old today.
Uh-huh.
Clint Howard. Boy, my voice is making all sorts of weird noises today.
Crackle.
Excuse me.
Mine
Snap, crackle, pop.
Mine was crackling a little bit in that 6 o'clock hour. It cleared.
Clint
but-
Howard, 61 today. Jessica Lange is 71 from American Horror Story.
Oh, hold tight. Clint Howard would be the brother of Ron Howard.
Yes.
Who's 61.
Yes, Ron's cuter and more famous brother, as
He
they
is.
say.
He is kind of cute. I'm looking
Uh-oh.
at a picture of him here. He's
Oh
got.
boy,
he has-
here we go.
He has the blue eyes going, and you know, I didn't know that Ron Howard even had a brother. I
Okay.
mean, this is the first time I've heard of
Okay.
one Clint Howard.
Okay, maybe we'll see Clint Howard in the center of a magazine
Oh,
too.
you know what? He had been in. I think he was in Uncle Ben, the show with the grizzly bear at one
Uh-huh,
time. When
uh-huh.
as a kid, that's the show that he was in.
Okay. Ryan O'Neal, 79 years old today, celebrating birthdays in the sky. Man, this guy had a great set of pipes. Luther Vandross.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, man, singer.
Here and Now was one of my
producer.
favorite shows.
Yeah.
I mean, one of my favorite songs, Here and Now. Tito Puente celebrating a birthday in the skies. Today is National Lookalike Day. So I guess my twins would celebrate that, right?
Can you believe that we are all supposed to have a twin out there?
Really?
Yeah.
Nobody want to look like me. That's for darn
that's
sure.
not true, Evan.
Why would you want to look like me?
You look fine.
I'm old and decrepit.
No, you're not. There's nothing wrong with your look. You've got a cool style kind of look going.
Yeah, but I
There's
need
nothing-
I need a haircut though.
That's all right. There's nothing wrong with your look.
Yeah.
Did you know that I have at least like at least two twins in town? There are a couple of girls in town that look identical to me.
Really?
Yeah. And our friend Jay, too, from he's the head of the Martin County Fair. He said
Okay.
he saw one of my twins working one time, and I think he saw her in the Cracker Barrel as a waitress. And he just told me that she looked exactly like me.
Wow.
Yeah. And I had been out one time, too, out and about gallivanting a little bit.
Gallivanting?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I saw my twin. There was a girl that just looked exactly like me. It
Oh,
was
wow.
just like, put us next to one another, and we just looked identical.
Very, very interesting. I
Yeah.
guess they do say everybody's got a twin, right?
Yeah, they do say that. And
Okay.
have you ever experienced meeting someone that has the same voice also as someone you know?
No. That's creepy.
It's a rare thing, but
Yeah.
that's happened to me too. Where actually I ran into a gentleman that had the same voice as my dad,
Okay.
and that was strange.
Interesting. News
Yeah.
time right now, 7:22. Let's go to the news desk where Bonnie's standing by with the headlines. Good morning, Bonnie.
Good morning to you, Evan. And the coronavirus took 26 more lives in Florida yesterday, and the death toll is up to 774. The Department of Health reports there are more than 26,000 cases statewide. We know now that Florida public schools won't open the rest of this academic year. But what about the state's higher education system?
Colleges and universities have resigned themselves to not finishing this school year on campus. What about starting the next one? Florida State University President John Thrasher says his school will need to know by around July if the campus can reopen for the fall or whether classes must continue online. Boards of several schools meet this coming week, and like FSU, must look at contingency plans and their budgets. I'm John McQuiston.
We'll find out today who the governor will listen to when it comes to reopening the economy. Governor Ron DeSantis said this weekend he's forming a task force that will advise him on how to get back to normal. The members will be announced today. And it was exactly 10 years ago when Florida found itself facing a different kind of economic crisis.
In 2010, it was an economic and environmental crisis caused by the explosion of the Deepwater Horizon oil rig in the Gulf of Mexico and the oil spill that followed. Charlie Crist was governor at the time.
I learned as a then Republican governor, working with then Democratic President Barack Obama, that, party lines meant nothing.
And like then, Crist says the current pandemic will only be solved with governments, the private sector, and scientists plotting a smart strategy of recovery moving forward. I'm Rory O'Neill.
A 54-year-old man died in a hit-and-run crash shortly after midnight Saturday in St. Lucie County. The unidentified Hollywood, Florida man was walking southbound on the paved shoulder of Turnpike Feeder Road, just west of US 1 at 12:28 a.m. An unknown vehicle struck the victim and continued traveling southbound on State Road 713. The victim was found by a passerby and was transported to Lawnwood Medical Center by St. Lucie County Fire Rescue. The victim succumbed to his injuries at the hospital and was pronounced deceased. If anyone has information about this crime, please contact Florida Highway Patrol by dialing FHP. According to FHP, the victim is a transient and has no emergency contact on file. His last known address was Hollywood, Florida. That case remains under investigation. Now, after weeks of waiting, people living in Port St. Lucie are back out on the water. The boat ramps reopened Friday, allowing many to get back in their normal routine. City leaders closed the ramps last month to minimize large gatherings and help stop the spread of the deadly coronavirus. By 10 a.m. Sunday, most of the boat ramp parking lots were full with barely anywhere to park. And finally, a student-led nonprofit in Martin County is getting some much-needed improvements thanks to a local company. Rena Spiruk, the CEO of Elevate Hope, says a local business donated their time and materials to install a new floor and help the organization expand. She said they were contacted by Stormtroopers Restoration after one of their employees saw a line of people waiting to pick up meals. Stormtroopers then stepped up to the plate and volunteered to help. Elevate Hope is looking forward to use the expansion during the pandemic to help more families in need. The other day, we fed over 850 mouths, said Spiruk. This is everybody's community center. If you need help, please, we're here. Well, a persistent cough and a history of asthma prompted Von Miller to visit the Broncos team doctor 3 days ago. However, Miller admitted he was shocked when he tested positive for the coronavirus. Miller, resting comfortably in his Colorado home, talked about his diagnosis on the first of 3 national TV appearances on Friday. News time is 7:26, and weather and traffic together are next.
727 on the Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie. It's time for traffic and weather together, all brought to you by Code Red Roofers. Bonnie?
No traffic accidents to report this morning, St. Lucie and Martin County. It's just on US 1 in Martin County as you're approaching Jensen Beach Boulevard southbound on US 1. Look for that road construction going on in that area. And there's your latest look at traffic. It's a warm Monday morning already, 77 in Stewart. Here's our forecast at WPTV.
This morning here on the Treasure Coast, warm and humid with a breeze out of the south and a few showers are possible. This afternoon, hot and very windy with possible record highs in the low to mid 90s and winds out of the southwest. Late afternoon and evening thunderstorms are possible, moving from west to east, and some storms could be strong.
The Get Up and Go show would love to hear from you, live on the air. Give them a call at any time. Now let's get back to the program. Here's Evan and Bonnie.
During these difficult times, we all need to stick together. In tumultuous times like these, we want you to isolate, stay safe, and remind you that we're still open for business and that you should continue to purchase our products. You can now, in the year 2020, purchase from us online. And if you need to come into one of our locations, we've finally begun cleaning our disgusting stores. We've taught our staff how to properly wash their hands for the first time, and they now will no longer grab your face or try and touch your teeth. Let's all come together to stay safe so you can buy our products and continue to buy our products. Never die and keep giving us money forever.
You know, it kind of sounds like one of those commercials that started off really serious, and then all of a sudden they kind of like made a joke about it.
They did. And
Yeah.
these are the kind of commercials, I'm glad we've been watching movies lately
Yeah.
because these are the kind of ads that seriously have been making me nauseated lately.
Yeah, without a doubt.
And now it's time for Stupid News,
It's so stupid and awesome.
where we ask the important questions.
Are some people too stupid to live?
Why are people so stupid?
Are you effing stupid?
Well, Bonnie, here we go.
Here we go again.
Monday edition
Yeah.
of Stupid News.
And, probably plenty of stupid people from our weekend
Did
to
you
make
see
up
anything
that news.
stupid happening while you were out and about at where you went over the weekend? Anywhere that you ventured out? I did.
Yeah. The only thing, I didn't see anything stupid this weekend. I have a friend who did, though. He had been out at one of the local stores, the grocery stores, wearing his mask, of course, but he
Right.
saw a toddler in a one of those shopping carts again with that toddler's mouth right on the handle grip of it.
Disgusting.
And I don't know what people are thinking. I
Yeah.
mean, there's a serious virus that's out there, and
Yeah.
that's very stupid of people.
I saw a lady in Publix the other day, had gloves on. She would pick up something on the shelf. She'd touch the shopping cart, touch her cell phone, scratch her face, and then touch something else.
Yeah, and
Talk about cross-contamination.
the cell phone too. Didn't we have a story back earlier that contains the most germs out of anything
Yeah.
you can touch nowadays? Your cell
When
phone.
I go into the store, my phone stays in my pocket.
Yeah.
I don't wear gloves when I go into the store because I am going to be touching a lot of different things. I do wear my mask. When I get out to the car, I will take the items that I bought and put them in the back of my truck.
Yeah.
And then after they're all secured in the back of my truck, before I touch my door handle, I'll sanitize my hands. Then I touch my door handle and get in my vehicle because I know I'm the only one touching my door handle.
You're
At
really
least I
doing
think
the
I
work,
am.
Evan.
Yeah.
You're doing the work.
Then when I get home, I open the back of my truck, get my stuff out of the bags,
Yeah.
wipe them down, okay, and then hand them over to my kid, and he takes them in the house.
Mhm.
Because if I'm wiping them down and then I touch them again, then I'm cross-contaminating.
And then does the dog come and greet you at the door and
Always.
carry the garbage bags throughout the house in his mouth
No.
straight to the kitchen?
No.
I
He
thought the dog might be helping you out too with that.
No, Kaya doesn't do that. She actually just turned 7 years old this weekend.
My 7. So
Yesterday.
in doggy year, she'd be 49.
Yeah, she was
right?
49 years old, and she's still as spunky as a pup.
We got to say happy birthday to Kaya then.
Yes, Kaya
Oh.
celebrated a birthday over the weekend. I missed that one.
Some people hold doggy parties for their dogs.
Yeah, we don't do that.
I used to when I was a kid, and every birthday my dog would get dressed up in a huge birthday hat.
Yep.
And I'd give him little doggy treats, and sometimes I would dress him up in I think it was my brother's old graduation gown.
Mhm.
He would get that on him and the tassel too on his head.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, I would dress up my dog once in a
Very
while.
interesting.
We had fun.
Okay. Hopefully the dog didn't throw the mortar board up in the air. That would not be good. Anyway, little quirks like knowing how to get the perfect temperature in the shower and the ideal volume setting on the TV are the small things which make a house our home. It's also decorating it in our own taste and knowing exactly where everything lives. One of the things we do every day without a second thought is put away all our kitchen utensils in the same place time and time again. And after they've been cleaned, now we throw cutlery in the drawer in the same order as it doesn't matter, but it turns out a lot of it turns out that it happens a lot. Now, a man posted a simple picture of a cutlery drawer sparked an unexpected and fairly ferocious debate and a fight, claiming it was the correct and the only way to get the job done.
Mhm.
Police had to be called, and they were
Wow.
both taken to jail
Oh yeah.
because the utensils were not put away properly in the drawer.
Talk about having some OCD. It sounds like a couple that's having a little bit too much time at home together,
Yeah.
being quarantined, and folks are particular.
Yeah.
My Gary is very particular about how you put things back
Okay.
and put things back in the drawers.
I am too, but not to the point where I'd get in a fight with my wife.
It hasn't.
I mean,
gotten
we
to
have
that.
we have regular size forks, small size forks. We have knives, teaspoons, and tablespoons. Now, I will
Yeah.
tell you this much: if you mix a tablespoon where a teaspoon is supposed to go, I do get upset. I do.
Yeah.
But everything is color coded in my house. So the big tablespoons are yellow, the big forks are red, the smaller forks are orange,
Mhm.
the knives are yellow, and I can't remember what the other one is. Something is green. I forget what it is.
Mhm.
Rachel bought this whole complete set.
Yeah.
She surprised me one day.
Something freaked me out one time when we first started living together. I was spooked. I was haunted.
Really?
I went into the bathroom cabinet And,
Okay.
I'm not so particular about where I throw things,
Right.
but I went into our bathroom cabinet and everything was facing face front. And everything in that cabinet was in alphabetical order.
Oh, I'm organized in my
I
bathroom.
was like, what?
Yeah, Rachel and I have separate areas in the bathroom.
Yeah.
She has her side. When you walk into my bathroom, I'm on the left, she's on the right.
Uh-huh.
Okay, she has her own sink, her own mirror, her own medicine cabinet.
Yeah.
I have my own sink, my own medicine cabinet, and my own mirror.
Uh-huh. And
Okay.
do you go into hers and say,
No.
why don't you
No,
clean
no.
yours?
Well, yeah, I do say something about cleaning and organizing every now and then.
Yeah.
You know.
I get that too.
Now, I will give my wife props because she did clean her entire office this weekend.
There you go.
So I was really surprised at that one. She did a darn good job at
Nice.
that. Anyway, Jessica Smith, a young lady in the northern states, decided to scour the buy and sell site of eBay after her friend told her that sex toys were often sold for a fraction of the price on eBay. Bonnie.
Oh.
Okay. Now, after choosing the purple rampant rabbit is what they called this thing, the 22-year-old completed her order and sat back and awaited for it to arrive.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's normal. You go on eBay, you buy something. The retail worker from Cheshire thought she was buying the product on a guest account.
All right.
Okay, this girl thought she was buying it on a guest account, Jessica Smith, the girl we're talking about. Well, when it got delivered, she was horrified and discovered she actually used her mother's eBay account.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes.
Oh, how embarrassing.
Yes.
Oh.
Oh, yeah. Could you imagine going online, going on eBay, buying a sex toy, and then you find out it's your mother or father's account?
Yeah.
Wow.
And I'm sure they're going to be able to track it back to her. Yeah.
But it's not so much as that you use the account, you used your parents' account.
Yeah.
That's more. I'd be scarred for life. Wow.
Yeah, that one would put a sour taste in my mouth for a very long time.
Yeah, I would think so.
I probably wouldn't want to go visit my mom too soon.
Yeah, I
after
wouldn't
that
want to
one.
go visit my mom anytime soon after that one either. Hilarious footage shows an intense pursuit between a formidable 4-footed suspect and determined police officers in Stamford, Connecticut. The incident happened over a 45-minute span on Friday and was caught on body cam footage by the responding officers in Stamford Police. Altogether, 3 officers chased a pig around the property and edge of a pond near Winding Brook Lane. Now, while attempting to corral the pig failed, police officers had to get creative and grabbed a garbage can to try to contain the pig. At one point in the video, the officers trapped the pig under the garbage can, but it escaped and ran between another officer's legs.
Oh, my.
Eventually, they did catch the pig.
Okay, very good.
Yes. People are asking, was the pig slaughtered? No.
Yeah.
No, they released the pig back to the pig farm.
You wouldn't think it would be too hard catching a pig, but I bet they could be awfully fast.
Yeah.
Like they say that the hippopotamuses, like that looks like it could be a slow, big moving creature.
Yep.
But I heard they're actually very fast.
They say if a gator chases you, never run in a straight line.
Oh, yeah, I heard that before,
Right.
too.
You run squiggly like an S because
Uh-huh.
they can't go like that.
That's smart.
Yeah. Gators
Yeah.
can go straight, but they can't go left and right.
Okay.
Okay.
Or you can, maybe they can, like, if they catch up to you in that straight line, you'd have to jump over them, like jump in the air.
I wouldn't jump in the air. No, I'll stick to my squiggly running.
Okay.
Dr. Jennings Ryan Staley, a 44-year-old licensed physician who operates a medical spa, was charged with mail fraud on Thursday of last week after allegedly promoting COVID-19 treatment packs, which Staley said could offer immunity from the coronavirus for 6 weeks and could 100% cure it. Starting in March, Staley's company, called Skinny Beach Med Spa in Carmel Valley, California, started to send out email advertisements for the packs, which were priced at $3,000, $995 for
Whoa.
4 people.
So he made a little bit of a bargain on that. I mean, some money off of that.
Well, the spa typically offered beauty services, including Botox, laser treatments, and fat transfers. The COVID-19 pack offered the medications hydroxychloroquine and erythromycin, anti-anxiety treatments, and access to the doctor himself personally.
That first one that you mentioned, the hydrochloroquine.
Yeah, hydroxychloroquine.
I've heard that that's kind of like being used to try to solve or alleviate the problem of COVID-19. So people, upon hearing that term, probably were drawn to that and, fooled by that so-called doctor.
Yeah.
But what a thing to do during these times. And anybody watching the news knows that there's just no cure for it yet. That's up and coming.
There's a lady named Naomi Wu in China, and the first thing anybody that notices about her when they see her is her chest area.
Oh.
Okay, I'll explain why.
Uh-huh.
Not so much that it's an impressive size for a woman with a small frame, but more the fact that they're illuminated, Bonnie. They glow.
Oh.
The self-proclaimed sexy cyborg from Shenzhen, China, has got as much to say about pointless quick fix solutions to the ongoing coronavirus pandemic, and she is about our post-human future. She is a wizard with technology, creating designs for everything from coronavirus masks to 3D printed bikinis. And her obsession with upgrading everything includes herself. Naomi, a transhumanist, had silicone implants anyway inside of her chest, so when one of the implants ruptured and required replacement, she took the opportunity to add fiber optic illumination to them.
Oh my.
So now her chest glows in the dark.
I could use that to go running in the early morning hours. Wouldn't need that little flashlight. Wouldn't have to carry that little flashlight.
I'm sorry, that's just taking it a little too far.
Yeah.
Glow in the dark.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even want to go there.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I wouldn't want to put anything in my chest.
No. All natural. That's the way I like all natural.
Yeah.
The cops in New Haven, Connecticut got a call last week about a burglary in progress at a restaurant that was shut down. Apparently, the manager had gone to the restaurant to check on it, and he saw a 42-year-old guy named Luis Ortiz asleep in the restaurant. It turns out Luis had broken in 4 days earlier, lived in the restaurant the whole time, eating the food and drinking the booze, and not just a little booze. He'd stolen or drank 70 bottles of liquor in 4 days.
Whoa.
In 4 days, no less.
Yeah.
He was charged with burglary, larceny, and criminal mischief.
Was he found sleeping or found dead after drinking all that liquor, Evan?
He was passed out.
Good gosh.
Yeah.
It sounds like he was having his own little party in there.
He definitely had a party.
Talk about happy birthday to me.
Yeah, happy birthday to me. That's a understatement. 7:45 right now on the Get Up and Go show. It's time for news. Let's go to the news desk where Bonnie's standing by. Good morning, Bonnie.
Good morning, Evan. The coronavirus took 26 more lives in Florida yesterday, and the death toll is up to 774. The Department of Health reports there are more than 26,000 cases statewide. And we know now that Florida public schools won't open the rest of this academic year. What about the state's higher education system?
Colleges and universities have resigned themselves to not finishing this school year on campus. What about starting the next one? Florida State University President John Thrasher says his school will need to know by around July if the campus can reopen for the fall or whether classes must continue online. Boards of several schools meet this coming week, and like FSU, must look at contingency plans and their budgets. I'm John McQuiston.
We'll find out today who the governor will listen to when it comes to reopening the economy. Governor Ron DeSantis said this weekend he's forming a task force that will advise him on how to get back to normal. The members will be announced today. It was exactly 10 years ago when Florida found itself facing a different kind of economic crisis.
In 2010, it was an economic and environmental crisis caused by the explosion of the Deepwater Horizon oil rig in the Gulf of Mexico and the oil spill that followed. Charlie Crist was governor at the time.
I learned as a then Republican governor, working with then Democratic President Barack Obama, that, party lines meant nothing.
And like then, Crist says the current pandemic will only be solved with governments, the private sector, and scientists plotting a smart strategy of recovery moving forward. I'm Rory O'Neill.
The coronavirus crisis is leading to major delays with the U.S. Census. Normally, the data would be collected and presented to the president and Congress by year's end, but that deadline has been pushed into next year.
The request has been that it be delayed until April.
Susan Retcher with Florida Counts says 47% of Floridians have self-responded. Relief is on the way for healthcare workers and medical staff in Martin County thanks to a new program. It's called Farm to First Responders, and it was created by the regional nonprofit Fresh RX. The new food distribution program began Saturday at Cleveland Clinic Martin North Hospital with the help of Living Hungry. It's aimed providing healthcare workers easier access to healthy food options. Employees at the hospital were all given a week's supply of fresh bread, fruits, and vegetables. The Farm to First Responders program purchases produce from area farms, and that allows farmers to stay in business while restaurants and farmers markets across South Florida remain closed. In addition to the fresh produce, hospital staff were also given hundreds of N95 masks for protection. And a South Florida farmers market isn't letting the coronavirus stop their tradition to provide to their community. Cars lined up at Longwood Stadium in Fort Pierce on Saturday, sometimes waiting for up to an hour for the town's first farmers market, since the original was closed at the marina in order to help stop the spread of the coronavirus. Patrick Mahomes is the top seller of official merchandise in the NFL. He dethroned Tom Brady, who held the top spot for 3 straight years. And Tom dropped to number 2, but he's been in the top 3 for the past 18 years. The data is compiled from March through February. So it's going to be interesting to see if Tom's new Tampa Bay merchandise will give him a boost on next year's list. News time is 7:49, and weather and traffic together are next.
$7:50 the time, the Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie. It's time for traffic and weather together, brought to you by Code Red. Roofers. Bonnie.
And in the latest highway report, no accidents right here. This includes St. Lucie County and Martin County. Everything is looking good this morning. There's your latest look at traffic. Got a clear sky and a very warm 78 in Stewart. Here's our forecast at WPTV.
This morning here on the Treasure Coast, warm and humid with a breeze out of the south and a few showers are possible. This afternoon, hot and very windy with possible record highs in the low to mid 90s and winds out of the southwest. Late afternoon and evening thunderstorms are possible, moving from west to east, and some storms could be strong.
Let's get back to the Get Up and Go show. Here's Evan and Bonnie.
7:57 on the Get Up and Go show, and there's the band once again. They're playing for us. I like that. They just play right on cue.
Yeah.
Don't even have to tell them to start playing.
Every time.
Right?
They know when it has to happen.
Yeah, they're pretty smart.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's the Get Up and Go show band.
Yeah, they're
That's what
on fire
called. They're doing great.
completely.
Hey, Bonnie, did you know that 20% of Americans keep a tube of toothpaste in their glove box?
Really, in their glove
Yeah,
box.
in their glove box.
That makes a lot of sense. You know,
Do you?
it's like I don't, but it
Okay.
would be like a good, breath freshener. Or you could just leave minty, fresh breath mints in your glove box too, for that
That's
matter.
a good thing. Did you know, according to a survey, 30% of women now say they won't marry a man who has a bad credit score.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
That smart woman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you know that only around 2% of people have green colored eyes?
Only 2%, right?
2%.
Yeah.
What color are your eyes?
Brown.
Okay.
They're brown.
I think mine are hazel or green.
Hazel. Uh-huh.
Not sure.
Every now and then you come across that person. It's a rarity, but every now and then you come across that person that has those beautiful green eyes.
Yeah.
I remember them on Vanessa Williams, who she was that girl that almost won the Miss America pageant, but then the Penthouse photos came about and then her title was taken away.
Gavin had the most amazing blue eyes when he was a child.
Did he now?
Oh, yeah. Like
Yeah.
we're talking, I'll show you when we get off air here in a moment. The average person will use 19 different doctors in their lifetime. And did you also know, according to a survey of city mayors across the country, roads are the number one thing the majority of them hope to fix while in office.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
That's a pretty interesting stat.
Fix all of those potholes in the road.
Did you know 35% of us think screaming children are the worst part of weddings?
Mm-hmm.
I will agree with that. When I entertain at a wedding, I'm sorry, but I have seen parents let more kids run rampant at a wedding
Yeah.
and do not control their children, and that really aggravates the heck out of me. Don't bring your child to a wedding if you cannot control your child.
I guess even if that child is part of the family, right?
Yep. Same thing.
yeah.
Control your kid. Did you know 29% of men have never cleaned the toilet at home? 29%.
29%.
Very interesting stat. We're
Yeah.
WSTU Stewart, Martin County's Heritage Station. The news is coming up next in hour number 3 of the Get Up and Go show.
the air, online, covering the Treasure Coast. Get connected with the Get Up and Go Show. And now here's your hosts, Evan and Bonnie.
.807 right now, the Get Up and Go Show with Evan and Bonnie on a Monday, April 20th.
So is it feeling like it's Monday for you, Evan?
Every day just, I don't know. I sometimes I wonder what day it is anymore
Yeah.
because of all the stuff going on.
I'm a little bit worried. Like, I worry about getting a little bit too lax where lately I haven't been having to go to my other job. So I'm afraid I'm going to get too used to it. And then by the time it comes time to go back, I'm not going to be feeling so pretty about it.
Gotcha. Bonnie, it's time for a new segment on the program. I haven't told you about this yet. Got an idea from when I was driving down to my daughter's in West Palm with the wife and the two boys. Go down and visit her in her new palatial palace. And my wife decided to dig up these questions. So this is a new segment on the show called Random Questions. All right?
Okay.
You and I are both going to answer them. Okay? And we'll compare answers.
All right.
There's no rhyme or reason. There's no right or wrong.
Kind of like when we played Match Game earlier.
Yeah. Okay. Which would you rather have? $1 million now or 1 cent doubled every day for 30 days?
$1 million now.
I would take the money and run.
I want it all and I want it now.
All right. Would you rather be the boss or be the employee?
I would rather be the boss. And I'd rather be my own boss.
Okay.
That's what I think everybody
I would
kind of
agree.
strives for, that
I would
action.
agree. I would agree. If you could have one superpower, what would it be today?
It would be flying.
My superpower would be rid coronavirus.
Oh, yeah.
That would be it.
Very smart. And
Just-
there are people that do have those superpowers and they're working on it.
Yep.
And we'll be glad to see their results.
Okay. Describe yourself in 5 words or less.
5 words or
5 words or less.
less. Oh, you do it first.
Okay. Witty, smart, intelligent, funny, outgoing.
Okay. I can
You
see
can't
you
use
as
those
all
answers
of that.
now.
Okay. I
All right.
would
5
say
words or less.
create-
Or less.
Okay. Creative. Athletic.
Okay.
Pretty.
Okay.
Not to be vain
I
or
like
anything.
the confidence. Okay. If I could have used a 6 word, I would have put in there good looking.
Courageous
Okay.
and nice.
Okay, very good. If you could give every person a gift in the world, what would it be?
Oh, just like one gift.
One gift.
It would be food.
Okay. Mine would be the gift of kindness
Huh.
because there's too much hatred in the world.
Yeah. And mine would be food because there's too much hunger in the world.
Agreed. Great
Yeah.
choice. If you were president and had to have 3 people to assist you, who would you pick and why?
3 people in this world to assist
3
me.
people to assist you.
I would pick Gary's ex-wife as my vice president
Okay.
because she's very smart.
Okay. All right. You have 2 more people.
I would pick Gary
Okay.
because he's very, very helpful to me.
Okay. All right. And 1 more.
And one more. Let me see. I guess that would be you, Evan, because
Me?
yeah.
Why me?
Because I see you here every morning and
Okay.
I would need help here and there and it can't
Okay.
only be at home.
Okay. If I were president, the 3 people I would pick is Russ, my business partner for my entertainment company.
Uh-huh.
I would have to pick I would say probably David Wright from the New York Mets.
Wow.
Because he led the team as the team captain. He's
Okay.
a good leader.
Some famous people.
Yep. So that would be Russ, David Wright, and the last person I would have to pick would probably be my dad because he was
Nice.
very influential in my life.
Your late dad, right?
Yes, my late father.
Yeah.
Bonnie, if you could set one rule for the family that we all have to follow, what would it be?
Pick up after yourself.
That's a good one. I would agree on that one.
Yeah.
Okay. Where would you live? And if you could pick anywhere in the world, where would you live?
Where would I live?
One place where you would live.
On a lakefront.
Lakefront. Where though? Where? That's a location. That's a location. I need where. Where? Pick somewhere.
Lakefront in Maine.
Okay. I would go Honolulu, Hawaii.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Here's a good question for you.
Okay.
When do you feel that a teenager becomes an adult?
It depends on the teenager
Okay.
because they all mature differently
Okay.
and at different paces.
Okay.
So if I were to pick an age,
Yeah.
I guess that age would be 18.
I would say 18 also as well.
Okay.
I will say I have seen my son mature in the last year
Yeah.
immensely. But he still has that little kid in him though.
But usually, don't they say the boys mature less quickly too than the females?
I don't know
Okay.
because I don't want to be biased in that one.
Okay.
What have you learned in life that you feel will be the most useful? What have you learned in life?
What have I learned in life?
Mhm.
I guess to care and consider your friends and family.
Okay. I would say family values.
Yeah.
So that's a good one.
Right up there with family.
Yep.
Yep.
Describe what a perfect day would be from the moment you wake until you go to bed. What is your perfect day?
Getting up to run, getting my exercise and full of energy in the morning, having my cup of coffee,
Mhm.
going out to breakfast with family, going swimming, going out to the beach or the springs,
Okay.
going to Lion Country Safari,
Okay.
coming home and do some more swimming in my backyard pool,
Okay.
and eat a good dinner that I made or that I grilled out on the backyard grill. And
Okay.
that's my perfect day.
All right. My perfect day would be wake up, have breakfast, go to the ballpark, announce a ball game, come home, eat dinner, quality family time, and go to bed.
There you go.
That's
Yeah.
or entertain at a wedding.
Yeah. Everybody has that feeling about, what a good day or what a perfect day is.
Right.
Yeah.
If you could eat dinner with three people you don't know, who would it be and where would you go? Any three people you don't know.
Oh, that I don't come
That
into
you-
personal contact with.
that you have no idea who they are, strangers. Let's say celebrities. If you could eat dinner with three celebrities, who would they be and where would you go?
Oh, good gosh. I don't know. You first, because I would be embarrassed eating dinner in front of any celebrity.
Okay.
I don't like to eat in front of people I don't know.
I would say LeBron James.
Okay.
Okay. And I have to make sure the restaurant has a big enough, a tall enough ceiling and long enough leg room for LeBron. Probably I would say I would go to a Italian restaurant with LeBron James.
Oh, yeah.
That would be number one, LeBron James. Number two, I would probably have to say Tom Seaver, number 41 from the New York Mets.
Okay.
Okay, probably go to just a good old American restaurant.
Yeah.
And the last person I probably would want to go to dinner with would be, I would have to say, if he was alive, Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson.
Yes.
Really?
Yes, Michael Jackson.
Okay.
I would love to know his story.
All right.
And I would go to probably a sushi restaurant with him.
Nice.
Because that's what he likes.
All right.
Now, what about you?
Mine sounds maybe kind of corny. I guess because they've been my idols ever since I was a little girl with their voices. Maybe Anne and Nancy Wilson from Heart.
Oh, that's not corny. That's a great duo.
Yeah. I would like to hang with them. And then maybe, I just thought of maybe this sounds very corny.
All right.
I would like to hang out with maybe Khloe or Kim Kardashian.
That's not corny at all.
So they could give me a sense of style and makeup.
I like that. That's a great choice, actually. Why would you think that's corny?
I don't know because
It's not.
They're just
Not at all.
They're just like so far. They're so LA, which is not me.
Okay.
But there's a part of you that would wonder if you would fit in with them or could get into their style a little bit, and they could show you clothing and eye makeup and entrepreneurship.
All right. What's a hobby that you don't currently do that you'd love to learn? And if so, what's holding you back from learning that hobby?
Yeah, we talked about it this morning. It's right now for me, it's growing flowers and
Okay.
plants, getting that green thumb going. What's holding me back is I care about the flowers and plants, and I would be afraid that I wouldn't do so well, as I've really never had a green thumb. The big fear would be taking the plants home and then they would all droop down and dreary in a matter of 1 week.
Okay. What do you feel?
Oh, you
let
didn't-
me answer it.
you
I'm
didn't
sorry.
answer. Mhm.
What's a hobby that I currently don't do and I'd love to learn, and what's holding me back? I probably would say golf. A sport. I'm not a big golf person.
Uh-huh.
So it's kind of like I don't see how people hit this little golf ball all over the place.
Yeah, and so what's holding you back from it?
I don't know, for fear of probably hitting it in the water all the time. Or in
Okay.
the bushes.
You'd have to go put your hand in the water,
Yeah,
and a
maybe a gator would bite
big
me.
fat alligator would bite off your hand.
Yeah.
You know what my fear about golf would be, Evan, is seriously the way that you hold the golf stick. Okay? Because when we were in gym class in high school, whenever we played golf, you don't just, grab the stick like you think you would regularly with your hands. There was like a weird, awkward way of locking your pinkies together and then wrapping your hands around that golf stick, which never made sense to me.
Ah, yes.
I'm the kind of girl where I just want to grab it and swing it like I would a baseball bat.
Okay.
And hold on. But there was like a weird way of the way you got to put your hands when you're swinging that.
Mhm.
And it's just like, it's something I could never get used to.
All right. So here's an interesting question. Curious to see how you answer this one. If we lost everything we own today, but could keep just 3 things, what would you pick and why?
Oh, pick 3 things.
Right. And they can't be human.
Oh,
3 things, 3 items, 3 things.
all right.
I have them right here if
Okay.
you want me to go first.
Yeah. What are yours? I bet yours might match mine.
I would say all my DJ equipment,
Okay.
all my entertainment equipment. I would say my house. Okay. And I would say my vehicle.
Your vehicle, yeah. House and vehicle, I'm sure, would be the top 2 for many.
Yeah.
And I think the third one for me might be my hard-earned cash.
That's a good one.
Yeah, any kind of savings.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that hard-earned cash.
Hmm.
I like that. Now, why the cash? Just out of curiosity. I guess cash is king.
Cash is king,
Okay.
and you got to have some of it. They say you should have. What's the rule of thumb to, like, say when we all got out of work for this coronavirus? The
Right.
rule of thumb of keeping up on your mortgage, your car payment. How much is it? Is it like to have a half a year of savings?
Oh gosh, I don't
in
know.
the bank,
I
or
have no idea.
maybe 3 months of what you would make on your salary, your wage at your normal job in the bank.
Not sure.
There's like a rule of thumb of it for that matter. But yeah,
Got to have some kind of a nest egg, though.
I try to save what I can.
All right,
ve-
very good.
very-
We all like to save. We all like the green. Cash is king, as they say.
yeah, I'm a fan of, what is it? Feed the pig.
Feed the pig.
Feed the pig. It's, yeah.
Isn't there a commercial that goes, feed the pig?
And that's
Right?
it.
Is
That's
that it?
Yeah. Go-
Okay.
if you go to their site, they give you all kinds of neat tips about saving money, acquiring
Okay.
money. It's a little.
Just gave me an idea.
Okay.
I'm going to go feed the pig while you're doing the news.
Okay.
All right?
Right
I'm going to go visit Porky out in the lobby. Anyway, it's 8:21 right now. News time. Let's go to the news desk. Bonnie's standing by. Take it away, Bonnie.
And the coronavirus took 26 more lives in Florida yesterday, and the death toll is up to 774. The Department Health reports there are more than 26,000 cases statewide. We know now that Florida public schools won't open the rest of this academic year. What about the state's higher education system?
Colleges and universities have resigned themselves to not finishing this school year on campus. What about starting the next one? Florida State University President John Thrasher says his school will need to know by around July if the campus can reopen for the fall or whether classes must continue online. Boards of several schools meet this coming week, and like FSU, must look at contingency plans and their budgets. I'm John McQuiston.
We'll find out today who the governor will listen to when it comes to reopening the economy. Governor Ron DeSantis said this weekend he's forming a task force that will advise him on how to get back to normal. The members will be announced today. It was exactly 10 years ago when Florida found itself facing a different kind of economic crisis.
In 2010, it was an economic and environmental crisis caused by the explosion of the Deepwater Horizon oil rig in the Gulf of Mexico and the oil spill that followed. Charlie Crist was governor at the time.
I learned as a then Republican governor, working with then Democratic President Barack Obama, that, party lines meant nothing.
And like then, Crist says the current pandemic will only be solved with governments, the private sector, and scientists plotting a smart strategy of recovery moving forward. I'm Rory O'Neill.
The coronavirus crisis leading to major delays, too, with the U.S. Census. Normally, the data would be collected and presented to the president and Congress by year's end, but that deadline has been pushed into next year.
The request has been that it be delayed until April.
Susan Racher with Florida Counts says 47% of Floridians have responded. After weeks of waiting, people living in Port St. Lucie are back out on the water. The boat ramps reopened Friday, allowing many to get back in their normal routine. City leaders closed the ramps last month to minimize large gatherings and help stop the spread of the deadly coronavirus. By 10 a.m. Sunday, most of the boat ramp parking lots were full with barely anywhere to park. While boaters are out on the water, city leaders said social distancing guidelines are still in place. As a result, the St. Lucie County Sheriff's Office and Port St. Lucie Police will be out patrolling the waterways and enforcing boating laws to help keep people safe. The city of Port St. Lucie reminds residents as they charter the waters to practice social distancing. And relief is on the way for healthcare workers and medical staff in Martin County thanks to a new program. It's called Farm to First Responders, and it was created by the regional nonprofit Fresh RX. The new food distribution program began Saturday at Cleveland Clinic Martin North Hospital with the help of Living Hungry. It's aimed at providing healthcare workers easier access to healthy food options. Employees at the hospital were giving a week's supply of fresh bread, fruits, and vegetables. The Farm to First Responders program purchases produce from area farms, and that allows farmers to stay in business while restaurants and farmers markets across South Florida remain closed. Lastly, a 54-year-old man died in a hit-and-run crash shortly after midnight Saturday in St. Lucie County. The unidentified Hollywood, Florida man was walking southbound on the paved shoulder of Turnpike Feeder Road, just west of US 1 at 12:28 a.m. An unknown vehicle struck the victim and continued traveling southbound on State Road 713. The victim was found by a passerby and was transported to Lawnwood Medical Center by St. Lucie County Fire Rescue. The victim succumbed to his injuries at the hospital and was pronounced deceased. If anyone has any information about the crime, please contact Florida Highway Patrol by dialing FHP. And according to FHP, the victim is a transient and has no emergency contact on file. His last known address was Hollywood, Florida. The case remains under investigation. A persistent cough and a history of asthma prompted Von Miller to visit the Broncos team doctor 3 days ago. However, Miller admitted he was shocked when he tested positive for coronavirus. Miller resting comfortably in his Colorado home, talked about his diagnosis on the first of 3 national TV appearances on Friday. News time is 8:26. Weather and traffic together coming up.
$8:28 right now, the Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie. Time for Weather Together, brought to you by Code Red Roofers. Bonnie?
Well, your Monday morning commute is a very nice ride. So if you're heading out to the door, you shouldn't run any traffic accidents or any kind of a slowdown at the moment. There's your latest look at traffic. And it is a sunny sky this morning. It's 78 in Port St. Lucie. And here's our forecast at WPTV.
This morning here on the Treasure Coast, warm and humid with a breeze out of the south and a few showers are possible. This afternoon, hot and very windy with possible record highs in the low to mid 90s and winds out of the southwest. Late afternoon and evening thunderstorms are possible, moving from west to east, and some storms could be strong.
Let's get back to the Get Up and Go show. Here's Evan and Bonnie.
8:31 the time on the Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie. It's time to head to outer space where Randy Siegel is standing by with the Monday morning edition of Space News. Take it away, Randy.
Good morning, sir. Well, it was on this date in history, back in 1972, that NASA landed 2 astronauts on the moon, John Young and Charles Duke. Well, Ken Mattingly stayed in orbit. around our moon. It was quite a mission, and they were highly successful in using a lunar rover and in bringing back a lot of moon rocks. Some of those moon rocks have not been tested yet. NASA has kept them under seal in order to see when they have better equipment to analyze those moon rocks. So they are slowly taking out some of those rocks now because the equipment is much better to analyze the rocks. Not a bad thing to do. We applaud NASA for doing that. One of the big problems that you have is the coronavirus, and it seems to have now impacted who is going to be allowed to actually go to the Kennedy Space Center and see our next manned launch on May 27th. According to NASA, there have been so many people that have applied for this mission in order to cover it that they may be screening out the number of people that will be allowed to go onto the Cape. Carrying it live and leave it only to the major networks. Something that is causing a lot of ire with many space people, including myself. We're going to find out in the not too distant future whether we'll be allowed to actually cover this particular launch from the Cape. The Japanese have made a decision that they are going to launch their next vehicle, a synthetic aperture radar, will now be launched with a Rocket Lab spacecraft after initially it was selected to fly on an Ariane space vehicle. Rocket Lab signed a new contract with Electron to launch it from New Zealand. And the reason they're going to do this is because of cost. They'll be able to save quite a bit of money and just about be guaranteed that they will have their flight. NASA, in a very unique way, is managing the Curiosity Mars rover by using computers. But those computers are not in mission control. Those computers are literally at the homes of several of the scientists and engineers who are operating that particular mission. So while they are working from their homes, they are still able to maneuver the spacecraft on the red planet. Who would have thunk that before? Rather interesting. Russia is saying that they intend to launch 2 space tourists in a Soyuz vehicle at the end of 2021. They have contracted with an American company, Space Adventures, in order to have 2 tourists fly at the end of next year. They'll be launched on a Soyuz MS vehicle and a Soyuz 21A rocket. This will be the first time in a long time that they have had a tourist fly in space. So it should be very interesting as we move forward and see whether this launch will in fact take place. It will be a 1-week visit to the International Space Station. Speaking about that space station, everything continues to work well on the station. The station has been lowered in orbit in order to keep it in line for all the work that it needs to do and supporting the vehicles that will be coming and going to the International Space Station. On the 19th, they were unloading the vehicle that is currently attached, which is Progress MS-14, and they use the MS-14 engines to reduce the orbit of the space station. This puts it in what they call phase, so that other vehicles can actually go and use the station without a problem. Jean-Martin Lutin passed away on the 16th of the month at the age of 77. He was the European Space Agency's 4th Director General, serving from 1990 to 1997. He was an aerospace engineer, and he held several key positions during his remarkable career and will forever remain an important figure, not just for ESA, but also for the wider European space community. So we say to him, rest in peace. Russia is also preparing a new vehicle that will carry its astronauts to the moon and beyond, as well as Earth orbit. The vehicle is called the Eagle, or Federation, depending on which version you want to use. But the Russians are saying that they will launch the first Eagle without astronauts on board in 2023 from the Vazhny Space Center, and it will dock with the International Space Station to prove concept. And then in 2025, it will become their vehicle of choice that they will use to fly cosmonauts to the space station. You must remember that if all goes well, on the 27th of May, NASA will launch our own astronauts from American soil to the International Space Station aboard a Falcon rocket. And that Dragon 2 will dock to the International Space Station, thus making the U.S. no longer dependent on the Russians to launch our astronauts. Russia is saying also that they may have to limit their launches this year due to the coronavirus. They are saying that at several locations, they have had individuals that have tested positive for the virus. Reduce the number of people working at their various locations, that being Baikonur, Vazhny, also another location in Russia, as well as French Guiana. And as a result of that, the Plesetsk Cosmodrome was the other one, by the way, that they will be ready to have limited launches for the remainder of this year. The Northrop Grumman Company said that they have achieved a docking in space. They have an MEV-1 vehicle attached to the Intelsat 901 spacecraft. This is the first time that the United States has shown the ability to actually dock two vehicles in space. This would allow refueling to take place. And by refueling satellites in orbit, them less frequently, thus having less junk in space as well. It is a major experiment and has been carried out successfully. So the hope is to continue this trend and not stop now. SpaceX is getting ready to launch the next Starlink vehicle this week. If all goes well, on Thursday, they will launch that vehicle in the afternoon. And it should be visible from the Treasure Coast, something that we would all like to see happen. Other engines that SpaceX has been testing, and they'll be on board later. Tomorrow we're going to tell you about Russia's continuing effort to get into space and more effects of the virus. So until tomorrow, have a great day, everybody.
That's your daily dose of space from another place with Randy Siegel. He's on the program each and every weekday at 8:30 to give us the latest and greatest updates from NASA. Yes, I've asked the band to whip up a new song for Ellie's Downtown Deli, and this is what I got. Hope you like it.
Mm-hmm. It makes me hungry. It really does.
Excellent. So what's going on at Ellie's Downtown Deli, if you would, please?
You can create your own sandwich. You know, maybe some of you haven't had a roasted chicken salad sandwich in a while. I know I haven't, and it's always a favorite. You can have it on your choices of bread, whole wheat, white, seeded rye, or multi-grain. Or maybe you'd like the roast beef and cheddar sandwich. Maybe make your sandwich with oven gold turkey with some provolone, leaf lettuce, tomatoes, or maybe alfalfa sprouts.
Sounds good.
Oregano, salt and pepper, olives, pickles, even avocado if you would like on your sandwiches. And try a side of some delicious potato salad. Always a favorite too is the deli black and green olives from Ellie's Deli, or maybe for dessert some key lime pie. And Ellie's Downtown Deli in Stuart open with a full menu for pickup or delivery. Ellie's is also making dinners with a full menu available for any number of guests you might have. Remember, they also have their fabulous desserts as well. Give them a call at 772-781-6605 to order or pick up. And they're at 18 Southeast 6th Street, downtown Stuart, just off Colorado. Call them at 772-781-6605. Ellie's Downtown Deli in Stuart.
Well, you just timed that perfect.
I guess so.
That was great.
How did I know?
It's like you did. It's like, wow, back to the old days of radio.
Yeah, I guess
right
so.
to the end of the song.
Right to the punch.
Man, you deserve a round of applause for that one.
Wow.
That was great.
It's like on fire.
I actually enjoyed that one.
Yeah.
It's time for the Precious Metals Report. It's all brought to you by St. Lucie Jewelry and Coin. Gold is opening up this morning at $1,689.30 an ounce, and silver is opening up at $15.23 an ounce. 8:43 right now. It's news time once again. Let's go to the news desk where Bonnie is standing by. Take it away, Bonnie.
Okay, and the coronavirus took 26 more lives in Florida yesterday, and the death toll is up to 774. The Department of Health reports there are more than 26,000 cases statewide. We know now that Florida public schools won't open until the rest of this academic year. But what about the state's higher education system?
Colleges and universities have resigned themselves to not finishing this school year on campus. What about starting the next one? Florida State University President John Thrasher says his school will need to know by around July if the campus can reopen for the fall or whether classes must continue online. Boards of several schools meet this coming week, and like FSU, must look at
to when it comes to reopening the economy. Governor Ron DeSantis said this weekend he's forming a task force that will advise him on how to get back to normal. The members will be announced today. It was exactly 10 years ago when Florida found itself facing a different kind of economic crisis.
In 2010, it was an economic and environmental crisis caused by the explosion of the Deepwater Horizon oil rig in the Gulf of Mexico and the oil spill that followed. Charlie Crist was governor at the time.
I learned as a then Republican governor, working with then Democratic President Barack Obama, that, party lines meant nothing.
And like then, Crist says the current pandemic will only be solved with governments, the private sector, and scientists plotting a smart strategy of recovery moving forward. I'm Rory O'Neill.
The coronavirus crisis leading to major delays, too, with the U.S. Census. Normally, the data would be collected and presented to the president and Congress by year's end, but that deadline has been pushed into next year.
The request has been that it be delayed until April.
Susan Racher with Florida Counts says 47% of Floridians have responded. 2 people from Fort Pierce were killed in a single vehicle crash early Friday morning in St. Lucie County near Oak Alley and White City. The FHP report said Davarius Whitechie, age 42 of Fort Pierce, was driving a 2006 Volvo S60 southbound on South 26th Street, 5th Street, that is, in the outside lane. For unknown reasons, Whitechie traveled off the road to the right, hitting multiple trees and a wood utility light pole. Whitechie and a front passenger identified as Virginia Brown, age 33 of Fort Pierce, were pronounced dead at the scene. After weeks of waiting, people that is living in Port St. Lucie are back out of the water, out on the water, that is. The boat ramps reopened Friday, allowing many to get back in their normal routine. City leaders closed the ramps last month to minimize large gatherings and help stop the spread of the deadly coronavirus. By 10 a.m. Sunday, most of the boat ramp parking lots were full with barely anywhere to park. Now, while boaters are out on the water, city city leaders said social distancing guidelines are still in place. As a result, the St. Lucie County Sheriff's Office and Port St. Lucie Police will be out patrolling the waterways and enforcing boating laws to help keep people safe. The city of Port St. Lucie reminds residents as they charter the waters to practice the social distancing. And relief is on the way for healthcare workers and medical staff in Martin County, thanks to a new program. It's called Farm to First Responders, was created by the regional nonprofit Fresh RX. The new food distribution program began Saturday at Cleveland Clinic Martin North Hospital with the help of Living Hungry. It's aimed providing healthcare workers easier access to healthy food options. Employees at the hospital were all given a week's supply of fresh bread, fruits, and vegetables. And the Farm to First Responders program purchases produce from area farms, which allows farmers to stay in business, while residents, restaurants, and farmers markets across South Florida remain closed. Patrick Mahomes is the top seller of official merchandise in the NFL. He dethroned Tom Brady, who held the top spot for 3 straight years. Tom dropped to number 2, but he's been in the top 3 for the past 18 years. Now, after Brady, the third biggest seller is Baltimore Ravens quarterback Lamar Jackson, and then Dallas Cowboys running back Ezekiel Elliott. News time is 8:48. Weather and traffic together are next.
$8:49, the time on the Get Up and Go show. It's time for traffic and weather together, brought to you by Code Red Roofers. Bonnie?
Well, Evan, throughout our Treasure Coast right now, no accidents to report. So if you're heading out on this Monday, you should be looking at a very nice ride. No accidents, no slowdowns. There's your latest look at traffic. In Stuart right now, we are at 78. It's 77 with the sunshine in Port St. Lucie. And here's our forecast at WPTV.
This morning here on the Treasure Coast, warm and humid with a breeze out of the south and a few showers are possible. This afternoon, hot and very windy with possible record highs in the low to mid 90s and winds out of the southwest. Late afternoon and evening thunderstorms are possible, moving from west to east, and some storms could be strong.
If you have a suggestion for the show, we would love to hear from you. Send us an email to WSTUmorningshow@gmail.com. Now let's get back to the Get Up and Go show. Here's Evan and Bonnie.
Man, I love the way he plays those that piano.
Mhm.
It's just so good. The horn section.
Just tickling the ivories.
Yeah, I really got to give the Get Up and Go show band a really, kudos, man. They've really stepped up their game in the last week.
And all of the instruments are shiny and sanitized.
Yeah, we've got a full band in the other room.
Yeah.
I really like listening to them.
They're so sanitized that you could go blow his trumpet.
Okay.
I mean, once he's done with his trumpet, you know what
Yeah.
I mean? Then you can
Yeah.
blow on the same trumpet.
I don't know if I put my mouth on somebody else's reed.
No, that's not advisable, I
No.
guess, right now.
No,
My bad.
definitely not. Hey, Bonnie, would you rather play a round of Would You Rather? Okay. So I'll ask you the question, and you can answer, and I'll answer as well. So it's fair game.
Yes.
Would you rather die suddenly at the age of 30, but do something so significant you'd be remembered as a world hero for hundreds of years, or live to be 90, but die as just another average person?
I think I would rather live to be 90 and die as an average person, which that's probably what I will do and become.
Yeah, I
So-
feel the same way, because I want to be around as long as I can for my kids and
Yeah.
my grandkid.
Right.
Would you rather be stranded in a lifeboat in the middle of the ocean for 30 days or spend 30 days in prison?
Ooh, good golly.
Think about that one.
Good golly, Miss Molly.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
What would you do, Evan? What would you rather?
I would do 30 days in prison, because at least I have food and water.
Yeah, that is true. And
Yeah.
the water is the important factor there. You wouldn't even be able to drink the ocean water. So is a fearful, I have this big fear of prison, but I'd probably pick the 30 days there.
Okay. Would you rather have veins on the outside of your skin, or have your mood directly dependent on how high your socks are pulled up? I'm the socks.
I'm
All the way.
Socks too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here's a funny one. This is a good one. Would you rather have ears that wiggle and turn red every time that you feel sexually attracted to somebody?
Oh, good gosh. How embarrassing.
Or emit a green cloud every time you passed gas?
Oh, good gosh. I guess that flare, I'd rather have that flare of them knowing that I'm attracted to them.
Yeah, I would take the ears any
Even
day.
though it would be highly embarrassing.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a really good one. Would you rather you're walking by a burning house, there are 5 children inside. If you go in and save the kids, they will be fine, but unfortunately you perish. Or if you keep on walking, the kids will die. Would you rather save the kids or keep on walking?
Probably save the kids.
Yeah, I would save the kids too.
Uh-huh.
Definitely. Would you rather have a beautiful lawn that you never need mowing, or a bathroom that never needs cleaning?
A beautiful lawn that I never need mowing.
Yeah. I'd rather have the bathroom that never needs cleaning.
Really?
Yeah.
I think I choose the lawn, Evan, because that's your curb appeal, and when you drive up to your house, and I think it takes a lot more for lawn maintenance than it is to clean just like one bathroom, and so I'd rather manually keep cleaning the bathroom and have my lawn and grass and just spotless outside.
Would you rather have your no, I'm not going to read that one.
Oh.
Would you rather be able to fly or be invisible?
Be able to fly.
Okay.
How about you?
Yeah, I'd rather be able to fly too.
Yeah, flying would just be if you could. I mean, you ever have those dreams that you're flying?
Yeah.
And I've had those dreams, and when I have them, I never want them to end.
Would you rather have an eye in the middle of your forehead or 2 noses?
An eye
Ooh.
in the middle of my forehead.
Yeah, same here.
The better to see you with.
how about have to use your week? No, I can't. That one doesn't make sense. Would you rather go back in time 1 year to talk to your past self, or go into the future 1 year to talk to your future self?
One to go back in time and talk to my past self.
Okay.
And give her the best advice.
All right. Would you rather eat wet cat food or dog treats after breakfast, lunch, or dinner?
None. Nil.
No, same
No.
here.
I mean, I did it one time in the pantry. I wasn't paying attention, and
Mhm.
I thought I was grabbing a potato chip,
Right.
and instead I grabbed some kind of a milk bone.
Okay. Really?
Without looking at it, I took a bite.
Wow.
And it was horrible. That doesn't taste good.
Okay.
I would never want any dog or cat food. Any. I don't know how they can eat that, but
Wow.
they do. They love it when I pop open that can of Friskies.
Really?
You know?
Do they come running like it's no tomorrow?
They do.
Do they really?
Oh yeah, and then they follow you. They follow you before you're like minutes or
Oh wow.
like 10 or 15 minutes before you're opening it. They're
Okay.
They're right on your behind.
Wow, that's crazy. Well, there's the music, and you know what that means, right?
It is time to say adios, amigos.
Yeah, it's time to get on out of here, make way for the next show coming in. And that's about it for the Monday edition of the Get Up and Go Show with our new band, the Get Up and Go Show Band. Yours truly, Evan Nine, and of course, my partner in crime, Bonnie Ashley.
Yeah.
We're here
and
Monday through Friday.
The next show is Mark Breckbell, I believe, with Condo Solutions.
Yeah, got a great show. You want to check that
Yeah.
out, folks. And as always, we say chow mein
Honduras.
and Arriva Dirty, folks. We'll see you tomorrow morning right here at WSTU Stewart, Martin County's Heritage Station. In the words of Ellen DeGeneres, we always say,
kind to everybody that you meet.
that's right. Be kind to one another, folks. We'll see you tomorrow morning. Bye-bye for now.